My name is Ansh and I help coaches, consultants and agency owners scale their businesses online. We've generated over 250 million views, 500,000 in client revenue in the past year alone, with over 90% profit margins. We've used this exact system to win the Skool game with an entirely new offer, have a solid Trustpilot account with several case studies and testimonials that you can see in our Skool community. And this is our Stripe dashboard where we have literally zero disputes. So not a single person, not a single coach or agency or service provider we've helped out has ever wanted their money back. My clients are everyday coaches, not influencers with like massive amounts of influence or followers, yet we're making over 10 times the amount of profit an average coaching business would. And that's because we've implemented our cash flow flywheel. So how is all this possible? Well, it's because the coaching industry is changing. We're in a trust-based recession and there is a massive opportunity for coaches who understand what I'm about to show you. So let's get into it. And so I'm going to be very direct for who this is for and who this is not for. If you're just starting out a coaching business, this is not for you. You need to have some clients and case studies through the door. If you have a short-term mindset, meaning you want magic bullets to suddenly come in through the door and just fix your entire business, again, not the place for you. My intention is to partner with you for years, if not decades, not months or weeks. You've worked with several other people and they were the problem. Again, not the place for you. If you want to build a giant team or you're looking for get-rich-quick schemes, again, not the place. But if you're stuck between 5 to 15K a month and you can't break past that number and you want to scale past 30, 40, 50, 100K months, this is exactly what we're going to help you out with. You're proven implementers, so you actually have a skill set that we can monetize and you want to help and execute on the action plans that we give you. You want a wildly cash flowing profitable business and you will genuinely work with us to get those results. You want a business that gives you the freedom and works for you, not the other way around. And finally, you want your business to feel more like play rather than work. I can work 16, 18 hours on end, not because I need to, but because I want to. Right, it doesn't feel like work to me. This is just play. Now, normally if you're below 15K a month and you're having inconsistent months, 9 times out of 10, the bottleneck is you. You're just running a glorified side hustle, not a business. It's harsh, but it's the truth. I'm just keeping it real with you. Here's what I mean. This is you. Right now, you're doing sales, marketing, admin, onboarding, content, ads, managing the team, appointment setting, closing. You're doing everything in the business. You are a one-man team. Right? Maybe you have a VA or two who are not well trained and they're kind of just handling all the admin tasks for you. But we both know that's not going to cut it. If you truly want to get past 20, 30, 50K months consistently, you need to have a team and systems in place to help you leverage your time. Because right now, there's probably no systems, no tracking, no processes, no team members, and everything is all over the place. If you don't work for a week, the business won't grow. Hell, if you don't work for a day, leads will stop coming in. Now, right now, you might be trying out complex funnels, trying out VSLs, funnels given by Russell Brunson from the 1980s. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that you're probably trying out right now. And all you need is just clarity. Once you have a game plan, once you know exactly what you need to do, everything else becomes cake. Instead of focusing on webinars or quiz funnels, call funnels, or VSLs, hoping one of them is going to be the magic bullet, the magic funnel that's going to transform your entire business. This is where you need to be. You need to have a team and systems that are built to help you sustain and scale your coaching business. Without this, there is no chance you can have a profitable, cash-flowing business for the long run. And before I introduce the cash flow flywheel that has generated over 500,000 in client revenue for everyday coaches, you need to understand something very, very crucial about the current market. And to do that, I have a little timeline. So between 2016 to 2019, ads were very, very easy to run. Everyone was running them, running straight direct to call funnels, just printing cash, promising the clients the world. I'm sure you may have been burned by other offers before, which is exactly why in 2024, we had the info recession. This is where all the buyers from all those previous years have come back into the market because the problems were still not solved, right? You were sold into this amazing program, you were promised the world, and then obviously when you didn't get results, you're now back into the market, with skepticisms higher than ever, with your trusts lower than ever, and obviously ad costs and everything is through the roof. Which is exactly why now in this new day and age, in 2025, we have the trust first ecosystem. You need to have an ecosystem of flywheel in your business that compounds trust and builds that trust very, very quickly. Do you ever wonder why attention is a new currency? It's because attention creates trust. Trust is the new currency. That's the actual goal you're looking for. Back in 2019, a 45-minute call saying, "Trust me, bro," would have made you some money, right? But now that's nowhere near the case. This is exactly why we have the cash flow flywheel. This exact ecosystem has been created through tens of thousands of hours of manual work, research, and understanding the exact market through real data, real conversations, and actual tracking. And this is exactly what we're going to help you implement into your business. It's the fastest way for your audience and your prospects to trust you, build your authority in your industry, and you're able to collect cash through the door. And so before we do a deep dive into the cash flow flywheel, let me take you through my journey and how we got here. For the past 2 years, I've been working with dozens of coaches and creators with hundreds of thousands of followers. I originally started off as a growth operator. Some of you guys may know that is essentially a business model where you partner up with someone with massive amount of influence and then help them scale their digital product or high-ticket coaching and take a percentage. And so I've worked with some of the biggest creators out there in different industries, such as Minji in the dating space, Dr. Daniel Moses within real estate, and Carl Yombom within TikTok Shop. And believe me when I said, we went through every single funnel, VSLs, webinars, calls, quizzes, everything. When we worked with all these creators, I discovered one important pattern. All of these successful funnels followed a few key steps. One qualified prospect is worth more than 100 random DMs asking you about your free lead magnet where they have no intention of buying. And that is exactly when I had my ecosystem moment. I realized it wasn't about the clout or the attention you had as a business owner, it was the amount of trust you had built with them. In fact, I'm so bought into this idea, I literally have a domain called followersaintdollars.com. Feel free to search it up, right? I literally bought the domain because I believe in it that much. And so I transitioned from helping, just large creators into everyday coaches because I realized follower count meant nothing. It was the actual trust building part of the ecosystem that mattered the most. And of course, the results were dramatic. I went on winning the school games, had a crap load, I have an entire wall of client testimonials, and helped generate over hundreds of thousands of dollars in client revenue. So let me give you an overview of the cash flow flywheel. And so the first pillar we help implement to remove any bottlenecks from your business is obviously lead flow, which gives you a nice, healthy, predictable pipeline of leads coming through the door for your offer. Then we implement our entire nurturing system. So the second pillar is called the social skool incubator. This is essentially going to nurture the crap out of your prospects, which converts them from leads into piping hot, ready to buy prospects. And eventually they buy some of your low ticket products or recurring paid products that we help you implement, turning them into one-time customers. And then we upsell them from a customer into a client using our triple threat conversion mechanism, which I'll obviously go into in detail. And so once you turn them into a customer, maybe they pay you $100 average order value, then you can upsell them into a 5 to 8K package that you may have. And then after that, you can upsell them again using our offer rings to maximize lifetime value of each client, which results in case studies, which fuels the content inside your cash lead engine. And the whole thing starts again. This is exactly how we're going to turn your business into a compounding machine. So let's look at pillar one, the cash lead engine. Right now, you're probably posting some random content. Again, you're just, throwing shit at the wall, hoping something sticks. Or you may be doing a bunch of cold outreach, warm inbounds, warm outbounds, something like that. And then right now you're probably boosting your posts as ads. If any of these sound familiar, that's probably the reason why you're attracting tire kickers, time wasters, and a lot of unqualified leads. This is exactly why it leads to unpredictable lead flow. Whereas cash flow coaches all have sniper content, meaning we create pieces of content that directly speak to our ideal customer profile. We have a custom AI software that does 15,000 monthly interactions directly with your targeted prospects. And then we have our own magnet ad strategy, which fuels predictable lead flow into your business every single day. And this is exactly why we're able to attract qualified leads, Dream ICP, and PIFs daily, leading to a pipeline full of leads. Right now, you're probably creating a bunch of content where you're just spraying and praying, hoping one of these pieces of content goes viral out of the 50 pieces you've posted. Whereas we have sniper content, we post one core idea in each post that has exact messaging and targets exactly who we want to speak to. To show you this happen in real life, here's a perfect example for one of our clients. Previously, he was posting shotgun content, meaning he was getting virality in his views, got a ton of followers from it, but was making maybe $500 a month from that one post alone because he was attracting triers. But after we shifted his entire market positioning and started creating content that spoke directly to who we wanted to, Yes, we got way less views, around 25,000, but we attracted 1,000 followers who are way more qualified and generated us 15K a month consistently because we attracted buyers, not triers. As you can see here, you got around 1 million views, which got only 170 comments, where if you do the math, it's only a 0.01% view to comment ratio. And then after the switch to sniper content within our cache lead engine, we got only 14K views, fine, whatever. It generated us over 1,600 leads, 1,600 comments from 14,000 views, right? That's literally a 10.7% comment to view rate, 100 times better. We literally 100x'd his conversion rate just by focusing and speaking directly to our ICP. You can see a bunch of people were commenting the word skool, and they all led to over 50 calls being booked within 2 days. That's the power of sniper content. Same coach, same niche, just a different content strategy. Now we move on to pillar 2, the social school incubator. Right now, you probably have some sort of weekly email newsletter, sending them a bunch of PDFs and lead magnets disguised as freebies, and then you're telling them to come to straight to sales calls with 60-day email sequences, right? And maybe you might be getting between 2 to 5% conversion rates with leads leaking out everywhere. Imagine you have a bucket with just a bunch of holes. Leads are just coming out of everywhere. Whereas in pillar 2, the social school incubator, we're turning leads into piping hot buyers. You become the obvious choice. There's no hard selling. They are ready to buy. Here is an example of my own school community, where you can see I have a bunch of lead magnets and case studies and social proof to showcase our expertise within our offer. And these lead magnets are solving one core issue where they all have CTAs towards the end to book in a call. This builds trust and authority within your niche, giving us over a 15 to 25% conversion rate, which is 5 times more than the industry average. Here is an example of like our client wins. You can see there's like a bunch of different client wins that we have. Some of our lead magnets, such as the exact buyer framework, an AI tool that turns your profile into a client magnet. What coach wouldn't want a lead magnet which triples your inbound DMs within 57 seconds? That's the power of creating irresistible lead magnets which your prospects will feel stupid saying no to. Now we move on to pillar 3, where it's all about lead conversions. Right now you're probably offering some free consultation calls. On your sales calls you have generic objection handling, then you come up with several follow-up attempts, and then you have long ass email sequences trying to make them and force them into buying your offer, giving you maybe between 15 to 25% close rate, where you have again a bucket with a bunch of holes in it. Whereas because of our ecosystem, we've identified 3 different buyer types, and so we have 3 different conversion mechanisms, hence the name triple threat, where you have the deliberator, the validator, and the decider. For the decider, someone who wants it immediately fast. Some of you guys watching are deciders, which is exactly the kind of people we want to work with. They don't waste any time and just close in the DMs. There is no hassle, no need to like beat around the bush, straight facts. The validator guys, they need some sort of proof, some sort of social understanding of who you are as a person, maybe have like a 20-30 minute call to just make sure this is the best decision for them. Again, that's fine. These calls for us most of the time are just onboarding calls because they're already sold in within the first 10 minutes. And then finally, the third buyer type, which does require a bit more effort. They need to know, they tend to overanalyze things, take things very, very, very slowly. And so you need to give them a bit more time to eventually nurture and convert into your ecosystem. And they eventually do. That's the power of our flywheel. This is exactly how we're able to have between a 50 to 75% close rate, and we convert them into cult-like buyers while we sleep. To give you a bit of insight into what this looks like, for example, sales call, we have those 50 events I was telling you about, all 30-minute calls, which are basically just onboarding calls, closing them in the DMs. Here's one of our clients who we've onboarded recently who piffed 10K just over DMs without asking any questions. And then here is an example of what our cash stock offer looks like for those deciders. So hopefully you can see how this flywheel is starting to come together and how each pillar feeds onto the next, which brings us onto a final pillar, which is all about increasing lifetime value, decreasing churn, increasing retention. Right now, you probably have several offers. You probably have a beginner offer, a core offer, a client mastermind, a VIP coaching, elite inner circle, whatever the crap you're selling. You probably have more than 2 or 3 offers. And that creates a lot of operational drag. It increases a lot of time investment because you need to go away and create an entirely new program with a new fulfillment system, etc., etc. And obviously increases burnout. And this eventually leads to maybe a 5K lifetime average, where you have most likely lower profit margins and a lot of operational drag. Whereas the way we like to do things is essentially have one core offer, and sell you different levels of access. Let's say our core offer is 3K, where you get access to bi-weekly calls to us. But if you want weekly calls and you want more access to those calls, then you pay an additional 3K. If you want DM access, you pay an additional 5, etc., etc. So all you're doing here is just buying as many levels of access from one core offer. So the same exact content, same exact delivery structure, same exact fulfillment, we have less sort of operational work and increased profit margins from that same exact offer. And this leads to the average LTV of 12K with profit margins of at least 80%. Now, if you're still listening to this, I guarantee you're going to become a buyer. Whether it's 2 weeks from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, it's going to happen because it shows that you actually care about your business and you want to change ASAP. So here's what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, you know, I'm a small audience, Ansh, this may not work for me. That's exactly why this is perfect, because we've leveraged our entire ecosystem built for small audiences. And again, we have that entire cash lead engine driving predictable lead flow. You may be thinking, oh, you know, this may work for only some niches. We've worked with over 200 plus clients in 79 different niches. And then let's say maybe, you know, you have no time. It's exactly why we've built systems. The whole point of working with us is we give you that leverage. We give you those systems and you implement it into your business. Of course, you're going to need some effort from your side into actually implementing that, but we give you all the trainings, the resources, the systems, our time, our agents, our software, our everything. And then finally, you may think this whole thing like, Ansh, wait, this is way too complex, man, right? The whole thing is as simple as it can get, right? It's just 4 key pillars, one simple flywheel, and we literally hold your hand throughout the entire process. And so while the back end may look a bit complex and everything is systemized and productized to a manner where you don't need to worry about anything other than just implementing it and tailoring it to your industry and your offer. For those of you wondering how we can work together, here's exactly how the cash flow coaches work. There are 3 main phases. And so on day 1, we have an onboarding call where we map out your one-to-one game plan call and give you access to a custom software, which generates over 15,000 monthly interactions to targeted users from your Instagram profile. Then we enter into phase 1, where it's all about just clients and cash. It's literally all just about maximizing the amount of cash flow we can get and injecting as much of it as possible into your business for the first month. And then phase 2 is all about implementing the cash flow flywheel, as I've said. Phase 3 onwards is after this program. So once you graduated after month 4, this is a 4-month program. After month 4, that's where phase 3 begins. And this is where you graduate from our cash flow coaches program. And if you want to work with us more closely for the next year, that's where phase 3 comes in. There's no long-term contracts, no awkward breakups, just results. So if you want to work one-on-one with me to help you install this ecosystem into your business that has won the school games, generated us 90% profit margins, and our clients over $500,000 in the past 6 months alone, book a call down below and join our free school community. I'll see you inside.